Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy, newbie.
You can find us all on major podcast apps, YouTube and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. So I'm sure you don't, well, maybe you do, go into the comments on our YouTube, but everybody's saying like that you get through one watch, you will no longer be a newbie. You don't have to watch it several times, the whole show. So
Okay,
I think
can
people
get through it once
are
and not be a
excited for
newbie.
you to be near a not newbie. So
Oh, that's cute. Thank you,
people are
everybody.
supporting you on your race to the end of Buffy.
I'm starting to get to a point where I told Ashley this last week. I'm getting to a point now where I want to watch more than one episode a week. So
Yeah, you're the binge.
yeah, season 5 is oof.
I told you it's good. And
especially this episode that we're about to talk about.
And like the second half of it is even crazier than the first half.
Damn.
By far.
What, really?
Yeah.
How? Okay.
I mean, it is. It's nuts. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get into it. So we're on episode 10. So we're almost halfway through the season.
A couple more episodes, right?
Yeah, like it's 22. So
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so 12 will be in the middle. Or I guess 11 is the halfway point. Yeah, so the next episode. Into the Woods originally aired December 19th, 2000, written and directed by Marty Noxon. So this was the first episode that Marty Noxon directed. And the synopsis is, Spike disrupts Buffy's one moment of peace after her mom's successful operation to expose Riley's late night spent in the arms of a vampire, sending an upset and bewildered Buffy into a tailspin and putting their relationship into turmoil. Okay, yeah, this is an episode has been building for.
I've been waiting.
At the very least, this whole season.
Yeah, I'd say this season. Maybe even before, but like definitely this season.
Definitely this season. Yeah, definitely from Buffy versus Dracula, because that even was mentioned in this episode.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And not the best way, but
there's a lot to talk. There's a lot to like unpack here, to be fair. A lot to unpack here. All right. So anything you want to say about it before we start?
No, let's just get into it.
No. All right. So we start at the hospital where Buffy, Dawn, and Riley and the gang, we also expands out and sees everybody's basically there waiting, but Anya.
Ryle shows
and
up.
Tara's not there. They're all waiting to see what's going to happen. They're all kind of like on edge.
Yeah, Buffy's like it's taking too long. And then actually Riley says that's probably a good thing because if it was really fast, that would actually be bad. And I thought
couldn't do that
true.
Much. Yeah, I think I would be thinking the same thing. Yeah. The doctor comes out, and of course everybody like jumps up, and he says it all went well. They were able to get everything out. So
which is medically not possible, but anyway.
I don't know. I think it depends on the tumor, but like what kind?
They didn't say what kind it was, did they?
They did.
Or did they?
But I don't know. I mean, I only know about glioblastoma.
I'm pretty sure, like any sort of brain tumor, though, the way they work is that like they basically have these like little finger-like projections, and they like attach onto things. So like even if you're able to get most of it, you're usually going to leave a little bit, and then it's going to come back.
I know that's a glioblastoma. I know that's a case of glioblastoma. That's why the survival rate is so low. Yeah. But I don't know about the rest of them.
I think brain tumors in general have similar survival rates, so anyway, it doesn't matter. Moving on. Yeah. I'm glad that she's actually going to be okay. I was pretty worried for her.
Yeah, so it went well. For seeing any complication, they think she's going to recover. She's going to be okay. And I love how she hugs the doctor and crushes him with her Slayer string.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
He's like, oh, things like crack and pop. She's like, oh, sorry. So then we go and in there they do the credits because Buffy's like, well, what happened? And then they go right to the credits, but we go right back into that scene after that. And then at Xander's place, Anya and Xander are watching Dawn. They're having food. They're gonna watch it. Maybe go to see a movie, like a chimp on skates or something that Anya's really interested in. And she's like, I know I'm only here so Buffy and Riley can boink. And Riley's like, no. I mean, not Riley. Xander's like, no. And her and I are like, yeah, I mean, yes. And it was like, because I know here they can only have like loud and obnoxious sex when I'm out of the house. Yeah. And then Anya was like, oh, does that mean we can't if she's here? Ugh. Why would you even want to like be like so like be so loud that you know she can hear you in the next room.
Yeah.
That's gross.
It's pretty gross, yeah.
So at Buffy's, Buffy and Riley are dancing. And they have that whole, like, flirting thing. I just can't, like, Riley cannot, like, be sexy. I'm just like, ugh. In my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I see what you're trying to say. Yeah, I get it.
And she's like, oh, I just feel so much better. Like, all the tension's off my body. Like, I just feel
It's nice
relief.
to see her finally relaxed. Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how you did it. You were amazing. You stayed strong. You didn't even cry. And she's like, I did cry. She's like, I cried a lot. And Riley's face is like, what?
Because you didn't cry in front of me.
Yeah, like, I wasn't there for you. Like, all this. And so he's hurt, question mark, surprised,
I think
mark.
So. That's what I wrote too.
There's probably a couple things going on there.
He's bummed.
Yeah, and then they boink. And Spike's outside smoking a cigarette. He's having their post-sex cigarette for them out there. Like, oh, Jesus. Just sit out torturing yourself with a girl. I have a crush on having sex with somebody up in that bedroom. And then later, it's almost exactly the same scene from Buffy versus Dracula, where Buffy can't sleep when her and Riley are in bed together and gets up and goes, and he leaves. So because Spike is sitting, like, outside, he sees Riley in the middle of the night. And he's like, where's he going?
That's weird.
What is he doing? So he follows him into an abandoned building. And Spike's like, what the heck's going on here? So the next day at the hospital, Joyce is recovering. She looks a lot better. She's got like a, like a bandage for where they shaved her head and stuff. So Buffy's talking about her wearing wigs and all these different, like, wigs she can wear. And Joyce is like, you know what? You can go. Like, I know you've, like, school, slaying, your friends. Like, you've put all that on the back burner because of, me being sick. I want you to get your life back. And Buffy's just not kind of really ready to, like, go back to normal. She still was, like, wants to keep an eye on her mom and everything.
Yeah, she's still worried.
Yeah, so she gave Riley the day off. But he'll come, don't worry, he'll probably come around later looking for some Bible study.
Yeah, I'm sure her mom
totally bought that.
Yeah. I mean, her mom knows she's an adult, basically.
Yeah, for real. Like, it was funny. And then we go to a random hotel, it looks like, where Graham and that, like, military group are looking at
not the initiative.
Military? Yeah, it's the military, yeah. And army is what they say a little bit later on. But they get a report of, like, this demon, like, taking out villages and stuff in Belize. So they're, okay, we have to go and, like, neutralize this threat and everything. And Graham really wants to bring Riley on board. He's like, he would be a great person to have.
He's really good at sweep and drop.
Yeah. Military terminology.
Sure.
But it might be hard to get him. Might be hard to convince him. And I forget the guy's name, like, who's in charge. He's like, why? What does he have here? And then we go to Buffy's room, where she's sleeping in her bed alone because Riley's off. And Spike just walks into her bedroom.
Yeah, he's so weird.
And he's like, hey, I gotta show you something. He's like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here. I'm gonna beat your ass.
It doesn't look like she's wearing any clothes.
She's not. And finally he convinces her, like, hey, I have something you need to see. Like, we need to go. Like, we need to, like, get a move on. And he's like, are you naked under there? And he's like, oh, I don't care. I don't care that you're naked under there.
And she's like, turn around.
Yeah, she's like, looking at him like, okay, well, go, but I have to get clothes on. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. He turns around and he's like, oh.
Dying.
Dying that she's, like, naked in the same room with him.
So awkward.
Yeah, he cares. I couldn't care that you're naked. So they walk to the abandoned building. And Buffy is very weird. I can't believe she just went with him without being like, what's going on? Like, I'm not going anywhere with you unless you tell me what's going on. But she did. So they go into the abandoned building. They go into, like, the living room. It was like a house. It was like a derelict house.
Like an abandoned house, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of these vampires downstairs just hanging out. And he's like, go upstairs. They go upstairs. And they go into this bedroom. And then Buffy sees Riley with a vampire, and she's, like, biting, like, his inner arm.
And he's, like, harder.
Ew!
Yeah, that was so gross.
So gross. And Buffy's like, like, shocked.
Well, she actually makes a noise.
Yeah, she, like, gasps.
Gasps.
Yeah. And then, of course, he hears and sees her, and Buffy runs off. He tries to chase her. But the vampires are like, hey, you brought the Slayer, when he's downstairs, like, hey, you brought the Slayer here. He's like, I didn't know. So they kind of like kind of hold him back so Buffy can get out. Not so, but it happens so Buffy can get out. And Spike runs out and says, I just thought you should know this was happening.
Well,
and
I think he also takes the opportunity to gloat a bit.
Yeah, and then, interesting, I think he's definitely like, the whole time. He knows this is going to happen, that he's taking her. Even after they find Riley, he's like, oh, we just care about you, mate. You know what I mean? Whatever. Obviously not. But once Buffy looks at him and doesn't respond and runs off, he's like, shit.
Yep. I messed up.
Did I do something bad here?
Yeah.
You know?
This is not how you go about this.
Yeah. So he does have some regret, it seems like, on his face. And then we see Buffy walking to walking home, like, at the house, and she's just kind of like numb and shocked. She doesn't know what to think.
Yeah, of course.
So I guess Riley doesn't even try to go after her again. So he just goes home, and Graham is there. Graham and the head guy. I can't remember his name.
Tell him about Code 1 Belize, whatever that means.
Yeah, so major thing going on in Belize, and they really want him. They said there's, we always need bodies, and we know you're a soldier, even though he's like, I'm not a soldier anymore. And yeah, he's like, we really want you. He's like, it's up to you. We're going to Central America tomorrow night at midnight. So that's when you would have to decide if you're going to go with us.
Mm-hmm.
So at the Magic Box, Anya and Willow are kind of like bickering with each other. And Xander tries to mediate between them. So they're starting to like put Xander in the middle of their arguments. And then Buffy bursts in and wants to know about this place, this vampire like nest.
Vampire feeding place?
Yeah, that's she's found and all this. And Anya's like, oh yeah, like, she says it seems like they were paying him. That they were paying like people. She doesn't say Riley. Yep. People were paying the vampires to like feed on them. And Anya, she's like, what is this? Like, I've never even heard of this. And Anya's like, oh yeah, that's been happening for a long time.
Forever.
And Giles says, yeah, I knew about it, but like I haven't seen it since my Ripper days. So like when he was like mixing in like dark things. And he's like, I had no idea what was happening in Sunnydale. But even if I did, I don't know if I would have told you. Like, we have bigger fish to fry. Like, Glory is our main concern, not these people that just, are paying to get bit by vampires.
Yeah.
And Anya kind of says how it works is the vampires get obviously food. They get like the blood, and they don't leave a body behind. Yep. And so they don't get like draw attention to themselves. Yeah. Like, they don't get drawn attention to themselves, so they get hunted. So it's kind of like a mutual benefit for both people, because
although humans can get addicted to it.
Yeah. But yeah, the humans are there's like a rush that is involved with like getting bit and all this, and yeah, they get addicted to it. And usually both parties behave, but sometimes they don't. The vampires can kill people.
Yeah.
So Buffy's like, well, then if people are dying, we need to stop this. And they're all like, you're okay, all right. They don't know anything about Riley, so they don't understand.
Doesn't realize why she's so focused on it.
Yeah, but she's like, we're going to destroy it like right now. And they're like, okay. So they all like, she's like, are you guys coming? So they all go.
They begrudgingly go.
Yeah. So back at the vampire den, it's abandoned. I mean, like, really abandoned now. Like, nobody's in there. Because they knew the Slayer was there last night, so they just took off.
Yeah.
But she's like, do you think they'll set up somewhere else? And Giles was like, I don't know. So they have like a little campfire, like stove thing burning, and she just knocks it over and like lets the whole place burn up. And everyone's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all concerned about her. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. So at Spike is drinking. He does seem regretful.
Which surprises me because it's Spike, but I'm glad that he is regretful.
And he has no soul, so he shouldn't even be able to feel regret. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he's drinking, and Riley barges in because he knows, like, obviously Spike led her there, and he stakes Spike. Did you like think anything about this? You were like, of course Spike's not gonna die.
I was like, there's no way they would kill off Spike right now. So
yeah, okay. So he stakes him, and then we come back from a commercial break, and we find out it's wood grain.
Yes,
Spike. So yeah, steak. I mean, so it's not real. But Spike's like, I'm not dying. Okay,
well, that's scary. Yeah, that was that was a little over the top.
Yeah, it hurt him. But he's like, oh, I'm still here. How is that happening? So Riley, again, like we kind of like, I think Riley's known for a little bit that there's something funny going on with Spike. But this is where they actually have an open conversation about it, where Riley says, don't think I don't know what's up with you.
And like, one basically says, you need to stay away from Buffy or I'll really stake you.
Yeah, I'll really kill you. And Spike's like, oh, look at you. You think I'm all like hot for your honey. And he's like, Riley says, well, aren't you? And Spike says, yeah, I am. So it's out. He's the first time. This is the first person he's actually admitted to. Yeah. Everything else, this has all been in his, like, he hasn't told anybody about this. So he just admits it to Riley.
Well, and he also tells Riley, like, you'll never hold on to her. You're not the long haul guy.
Yeah.
Which I know is true, but, oh, man. Yeah. When we first met him, I kind of thought, I don't know, I liked him when we first met him.
You had high hopes for Riley. Yeah. And he says that she needs a little monster in her man.
Yeah, which is interesting.
That's Spike's theory. And
he also doesn't feel like he has a shot, but he wants to give it a try.
Yeah, he's like, Riley says, you don't honestly think you have a chance with her, do you?
And Spike's like, no, but I gotta try.
No, I don't, but I gotta try. Yeah. And then they have this really interesting conversation where they're throwing the bottle of alcohol back and forth. And now Riley's just sitting down and like drinking with Spike. So you were right, Riley and Spike share unlikely drinking buddies together in this episode. And Spike says, like, sometimes I'm like, so jealous of you. I like can't stand it because, you're with her. But, and basically, and you get to like sleep with her and all this stuff.
But you're also alone because she doesn't give herself fully to you.
To be so close to her but not have her. Like, I actually don't know if that's worse or better. And then he's like, no, actually, you have it better than me.
Because you still get to be with her.
You still get to be with her. And then Riley's like, yeah, I guess I'm just super lucky. And he's like, look what's happened. Like, he's in a, not in a good spot. Yeah. So at the Magic Box, Buffy is, air quotes, training.
Punching a bag.
Yeah, it's really just like therapy. She's just like punching the shit out of this bag. And Riley comes into the Magic Box and Anya and Xander are out there and asks them to leave. And they're like, okay. Like, not a good sign.
Well, Xander suspects something bad is going on.
Yeah, he does suspect something. And so he goes into the back and Buffy's like, he convinces her to hear him out. And she's like, fine. But she like didn't want to talk to him. And there's a lot in this scene, okay? Yeah. They have it out in this scene. And the kind of the bullet points of what they're saying is, he said at first, when he started going to the vampires, he thought it was like a game where he wanted to even the score.
Yeah, because of Dracula.
Letting Dracula bite her. She's like, I didn't let him bite me.
Exactly. She was under mind control, jerkbag.
Yeah. And I don't understand, like, the control, like, him and Angel have over you. Like, okay, not even the same thing. And she's like, you don't get it at all. And he does not get it at all.
No.
But he was saying, like, I went there, I didn't know something was even missing until I started going to them. Because they, like, needed me. They like, had a hunger for me. And like, I know it was only physical, but they like, had a hunger for me. And she's like, and you don't think I have, like, that kind of feeling for you? And he says, you keep me at a distance. You don't let me in. And, of course, she says, I'm sorry I didn't, like, take care of you when I thought my mom was dying. And he's like, it's about me taking care of you, not the other way around, but you, like, wouldn't let me even take care of you. And then she starts saying, this is because I'm stronger than you, isn't it? And you can't handle that I'm stronger than you. And he's like, yeah, that bothers me sometimes, but that's not it.
Yeah, which I think is fair.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know what you want from me. I've given you everything. And he's like, well, I don't feel like you have. And she's like, well, is that my problem?
Yeah.
There's like oh my God, there's so much here. So basically, we can kind of like dig into what we think about this. And then he says, he comes out with it, says the military wants him back. And he essentially gives her an ultimatum.
Yeah. What? He's like, either you need to forgive me or like at least think that you can move on from this or
tonight.
Tonight. By midnight.
Yeah, tonight.
Which is such a dick move. I really hated him in this minute.
And then he also is like...
What if, they're going to Belize, they're going to do this thing. I don't know how long they're going to be gone for, but like, are they able to not just like take their space while he's gone and maybe talk when he gets back or something?
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't an option.
I know he says no contact with civilians and stuff, but that doesn't mean forever.
Fine. Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming he's going to come back at some point.
So... Yeah, and then he does this really weird thing. He was like, hit me, hit me.
Mm. Yeah, that was weird too.
And she just like keeps her cool and like doesn't take his bait. I honestly don't even know what that was about.
No, and he's like,
hit me.
I'm leaving unless you give me a reason to stay.
Yeah, and she just walks out of
You're not giving much of a reason, buddy.
Yeah, so she just walks out of the room.
I was very proud of her in this.
Okay,
she handled this very maturely.
Yeah, there's a lot here. It doesn't just because I think Riley is hugely mostly in the wrong about things he's saying. There are a few things that he's saying are true.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be all one way or the other. Mm-hmm. Two things can be true at the same time. But I do think that in my opinion, did Buffy, like, was he the number one priority in her life all the time? No.
I don't think he should be, though.
Yeah.
I think that's true for any relationship.
Yeah, and maybe there are times when he should have been. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
When he wasn't, sure, that's fair. Yeah. But I think his insecurities just ate this whole thing up, in my opinion. Like, led to all this. And again, she's like, I don't like, you can't tell me what I feel. Like, he does that a lot, too.
Yeah, he does.
Like, she doesn't love me, you don't love me, you don't this and that.
That sounds like it's a you problem. It's your insecurities.
That's what she says. She's like, I don't know what else I can give you.
Yeah, because he even says at one point, like, the world falls away when he's with her, but she keeps him at a distance. And it's like, people are going to love each other differently. Like, they're going to have different ways of being in a relationship and things like that. And that's something you kind of have to work through together.
Yeah. And then, like, he's saying, like, oh, like, these vampires gave him basically what he was missing. Was, like, like being hunger. She's
they
like,
devoured him. It was beyond passion.
Yeah. And she's like, you were a snack. Okay? Like, don't think it was, like, something more than that for them, for sure.
Not intimate.
No. So, yeah. And then on top of this, he's like, basically, tell me, you have to give me a reason to stay or I'm leaving.
No. Yeah. Bye. So I feel like maybe Riley, if I'm going to be as nice to him as possible right now, I feel like he just needs to find someone who loves him the way he wants to be loved then. If this isn't enough for him, then he needs to just be in a relationship. Like there's those attachment styles, right? And he's with somebody who has I'd say Buffy has a secure attachment style. She's secure in herself. She's secure with her relationships around her. So she doesn't need to feel needed and all those things. Like she can just feel secure in herself and have time to herself, whereas he's constantly needing someone to be with him, to reassure him. So maybe he needs to be with somebody who's more on that level.
That's true. Yeah, if he feels he's not getting what he needs from her.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of trying to change her, he needs to find something that works for him.
The harder he holds on to her, the more she pulls away. This is how it works. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah. Ooh, this is good. Yeah.
Because I've been there.
Psychoanalysis of Riley.
I've read so many books on this.
Yeah. So, and then to top it off with an ultimatum is not good.
Yeah, that's just the worst thing you could ever do.
Yeah, the like rotten cherry on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she walks out of the room. And she walks out into the alley and is ambushed by the den vampires because they're like, hey, we know that you like torched our place and now we're going to kill you. Basically the pimp of the vampires.
Did they find the worst timing ever? Because she is amped.
And she even like warns them, like, don't do this right now. And then she like insanely kills them all. Like
she just incinerates them.
And then the last vampire standing is the girl that was biting Riley.
Oh yeah, this was great. She Buffy goes to stake her and then pauses. And then she runs away. And then she throws the stake and gets her. I was like, dang.
I know. She's like, bah! Like, damn.
Also, she wasn't particularly attractive.
No, she looked emaciated. She didn't look like she was getting old. She didn't look like she was getting a lot of clients. Let's put it that way. Like, she didn't look like she was getting a lot of blood.
She looked like an 80-year-old prostitute. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess she was like, well,
what's your thing, Riley?
Yeah.
What's your
weird? Weird. So Buffy stakes them all. And then Xander shows up.
This was great. Xander, but he calls her on her shit. I feel like this was kind of good for her. I think she needed this. So Xander shows up and is trying to like, I know something's going on with you and Riley. And she's like, leave me alone. And they end up going into this like other building in the alley and like basically having it out where he says that she shut down after Angel
and that she treated Riley like the rebound guy. And she's like, what am I supposed to do, beg him to stay? And he's like, yeah. Okay. And I like when Buffy like tells him everything that happened. And Xander isn't even like, oh my God, that's horrible. Are you okay? No, it's like Team true. Riley 100% doesn't care about anything that Buffy's telling him.
That's a good point. You're right. I didn't think about it that way. You're right.
He just is like this. Well, you should still beg him to stay. Like, I just told you he's basically been cheating on me and like being addicted to vampire prostitutes, basically. And you don't even flinch and then tell me how it's basically my fault. That's how I felt with this.
I'll give you that, but the one thing I did like about this is basically like Xander's like, if he's not the guy, let him go. Which I feel like that was the thing that she should have held on to.
No, absolutely. And you can see the differences between like the relationship with Angel and the relationship with Riley. I mean, it's plain as day that she wasn't as close to Riley. Like that's the truth.
She really did give Angel everything.
Yeah. And she's probably still gun shy from that experience because of
course she is,
ruined her life. Yeah. So I'm not saying everything that Xander is saying is wrong, just like not everything Riley was saying was wrong. Mm-hmm. But I feel like both of them tried to blame Buffy for everything that's happened.
They were dicks, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, he's like, yeah, you should beg him to stay. I'm just like, what? And
nobody
like Xander, you're Buffy's best friend. She just told you what he did, and you didn't even care. To me, yeah. I just didn't like this. Even though, some of the things that Xander said was true. But apparently it worked on Buffy because she's like, oh my God, I have to run and stop him now.
Well, because like he's like, he if he's not the guy, let him go. But if she can love him messy and all, think about what she's about to lose. And then she runs.
I mean, that's fair. That part's fair. But
I thought I liked it when he just said, if he's not the guy, let him go. And I was like, yeah, he's not the guy, so let him go. But then he said stuff and she ran. And I'm like,
he's
stop
not
there.
Goodbye. Yes. Yeah. Goodbye. So even though Riley didn't tell her he was leaving at midnight, how he was leaving or where he was leaving from, she knows where to run to.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Is that like the only helicopter place?
Yeah. I just feel like this was the shot in Griffith Park. And I don't know why.
Oh, interesting.
I have no evidence of that. It just kind of felt like Griffith Park to me. But anyway, if Buffy had a cell phone or a car.
That's what I said when I was watching this. If she had a friggin' cell phone, then this would have avoided. But I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah. Or a car also would have gotten her there. And I'm sure a quarter of the time. If knew how to drive. So she's running. Riley's waiting in front of the helicopter. Is she going to come? And they give us a little fake out where they run. He looks. Her run. Oh no, it's just empty. Nothing there. Oh boy. He gets into the helicopter. They're like, okay, it's midnight. We're going. He gets in. The helicopter goes up, and then Buffy runs up and is yelling at the helicopter.
They miss each other.
And he doesn't look over.
He's like looking the other way.
And so if he had looked over, he would see her on the ground, like trying to get his attention. And then he just flies away. And Buffy walks home just like numb.
She's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh my God, that just happened.
We're all glad it just happened.
Okay, so you were on board for this breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, then we get this interesting scene at Anya's because we forgot to mention during the conversation, that wasn't really a fight, conversation with Xander, Buffy was like, oh, and you're telling me that Anya's not just a convenience? You're coming at me. And he's like, this isn't about me. I'm like, sorry, like, dude, you just came into my relationship telling me how I should feel, but I can't say anything about your relationship.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay,
right. That's not how it works.
Xander. But he's like, oh yeah, please, because if you told me like Anya wasn't a convenience, I would be shocked. And he like realizes like, yeah, you're right. Everyone thinks that, and maybe Anya thinks that too. So he goes to Anya's and says that I am like very in love with you. I'm like so in love with you, and yeah, it just really tells her really how he feels.
Yeah,
yeah. Because he doesn't want her to doubt that. Like, he thinks that Riley doubted that. So, and then Buffy's just sitting on the stairs at home, and we get, like, a little montage where, like, Riley's flying away still, and Buffy's just, like...
in shock.
Shock, basically. And that's the end of the episode.
End of the episode.
Yep, Riley's flying away. So, my favorite quote was when Anya says, "Thank you for making time in your busy life to come in here and get in the way of mine." To Willow. Anya had a lot of good lines. Okay, so my favorite scene was when Riley and Spike have the drink together.
Mm-hmm.
Because they both, like, are more open with each other than they have been with other people.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they're like, we hate each other. We're enemies. So we might as well just, like, whatever. I have nothing to lose, really, to tell you this, and vice versa.
Frenemies.
Yeah, in that moment, they were frenemies. They're both two guys in love with Buffy, and she doesn't love either of them.
Yeah,
so
it's a harsh reality.
I mean, in Riley's opinion, Buffy doesn't love him. But, yeah, I just thought that was, like, a weird but good moment. Like, it's weird that they just, like, commiserated with each other. And, yeah, talking about Buffy. All right, your quote.
I'm tied for two. One of them was when John said, and you already said it actually, I'm only sleeping over here so Buffy and Riley can boink. It made me laugh so hard. And then also though, when Buffy and Xander were having a conversation at the end, and Buffy says something about Riley, like, oh, he's dependable. And Xander's like, what is he, State Farm?
Yeah.
That made me laugh really hard. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think my favorite scene might actually be the one with Buffy and Riley, because I felt like that was a conversation they really needed to get out. And I kind of feel like we saw a little bit more of Riley's true colors in there. Which, yeah, like I know, like I remember, like if I think back to when they first started getting a little more serious and I was like, oh, Team Riley, and you're like, blah. And now like, now I see why. Yeah, so I was just like, I've really grown to intensely dislike him. So
okay, yeah. You are in the majority of Buffy fans now.
Yeah, it took me a while, but
and I don't even think it's all about the vampire biting.
No, it's a lot now. Like yeah, it's funny because like it really was just slow and gradual over time. Like little things just kept piling up, and then yeah,
it is true. All right, so my stake rating, I gave it a 3.8. Is that high or low?
Low. What? Okay. Why?
I don't know. That's just what I gave it. That's what I was feeling.
Oh.
I said Riley and Xander, what? With their conversations with Buffy. I just was like, what?
Okay.
Which we already talked about the majority of it. And I did say both can be true. It's some of the things that Riley was saying, both the things that Buffy was saying. And then I think it was important also that Xander, I didn't have a ton to say about this episode, honestly, that we didn't already say, that Xander and Anya kind of had that moment at the end where he really like told her how he felt. And yeah, big change for Buffy now that Riley and her have broken up. So we're ready to see what happens here.
Okay. I gave it a 4.7.
Damn!
I thought it was a really good episode. I totally glossed over.
I don't really know why I gave it so low. I don't know.
I glossed over the part where Xander was a dick. I'm sorry. Because I thought it was like a kind of a good conversation overall. I thought like part of the stuff he said was kind of, he didn't go about it in the right way. But like it was kind of true. Like some of it was just like, I mean, she wasn't all in with him, and that's okay. She doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think she really realized that. I mean, I guess apparently she decided she was and decided to run to go meet him, which didn't work out. But yeah, I kind of feel like she should have been like, yeah, you're right. I'm not all in, and that's okay. The conversation with her and Riley, I thought was really good. He sucked. He completely sucked, and I hate him. But it was a good conversation to have. It was necessary.
Yeah.
I felt like that conversation maybe also should have led her to believe that he is not the right person for her. Yeah, and then just Spike. Yeah, the Spike and Riley conversation was interesting. Spike was also a dick in this episode by showing Buffy the way he did. Like, I feel like he could have gone about that differently.
Yeah.
He was selfish. He was being selfish.
Oh, he was definitely doing it for selfish reasons.
She needed to know.
What do you think he should have done? Told her? Because she never would have believed him.
I know. Yeah, I don't know.
This is an honest question because I don't know the answer.
I mean, you're probably right. I feel like ideally he could have tried telling her and then showed her, but you're right. She probably wouldn't have believed him because that's so crazy.
Or I would have been like, next. How was Riley hiding the bite marks when they were in bed together? Also,
I don't know.
Because I would have been like, check his body for bite marks if you don't believe me.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I guess if it's in the elbow, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The best part of this episode, though, was the end when they didn't meet up and Riley left.
You're like, yes, fly away home.
I did, yeah. I wish Buffy wouldn't have run after him, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good episode. And then, yeah, also we finally kind of wrapped things up with Joyce, I think, at least. That was good too. Like, she's in the clear, hopefully. So that was good. That was good too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny that we have such different ratings. They usually it's the other way around. If usually we're not that far apart, but
to know what your rating is for the next episode now.
Okay. So for the next episode called Triangle, whose ex do we get to meet?
I'm gonna go with Anya.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that wraps up season 5, episode 10, Into the Woods. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube and Instagram at One Girl All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with season 5, episode 11, Triangle. See you real soon.
Bye.